Roman Reigns is coming back to WWE soon. The best and worst of WWE RAW after Saturday night's main event. WWE makes a major Cody Rhodes announcement. Cody Rhodes' wife attacks Jade Cargill. Naomi makes a request to Dana White behind Triple H's back. Montez Ford sends a message to Bianca Belair during her absence. Liv Morgan kicks Dominik Mysterio out of the Judgment Day and gets a new BF. WWE slammed for Roxanne Perez's push. WWE leaks huge title change and major mistake during Raw. Seth Rollins' sloppy storyline slammed. Seth Rollins wins the MITB. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE RAW after Saturday night's main event. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman opened Raw, fresh off unveiling Bronson Reed as their latest ally at Saturday night's main event. Heyman delivered a solid promo, hyping up each star. Russo crushed Akira Tozawa in less than a minute, only for Sheamus to step in and stop the beatdown. Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch kept their war of words going, building heat for their Money in the Bank rematch. Karrion Kross got a brief moment, taunting Sami Zayn on his way to the ring, mocking his chances of ever becoming world champion. Some wrestlers are slipping down the ranks, but could this spark a comeback? Here's the rundown of Raw's biggest wins and flops. Number 1, New Day's title. Win, thrilling or flat? The New Day held onto their World Tag Team titles, won at WrestleMania 41 in a clash with the Creeds, who they convinced to join the fight. Xavier Woods pinned Julius Creed to keep the gold with Kofi Kingston. The Creeds teamed up with New Day against Eric and Ivar mid-match, but were sour after eating the pin. No dirty tricks or weapons were used. Just a clean win. Michael Cole's commentary made it sound like both teams got obliterated with steel chairs. The titles got some spotlight, but the match didn't feel as epic as it deserved. Number 2, Liv Morgan's return. Tag titles. Ignored? After Roxanne Perez offered Dominik Mysterio more chicken nuggets, Liv Morgan shocked everyone by returning to Raw. She said Raquel Rodriguez kept her in the loop, but her focus was on snagging a Money in the Bank qualifying match. The letdown? She and Rodriguez have done zilch with their tag team titles. With recent roster cuts, the division's thin, but there are still teams across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Morgan threw shade at Kairi Sane, but lost to her due to a mix-up with Rodriguez. Perez tried to help by shoving Sane off the top rope, which ticked off Rodriguez. It's great Sane didn't lose her second match back, but Morgan doesn't need a Money in the Bank shot. Number 3, Penta's Money in the Bank triumph. Penta outshined Chad Gable and Dragon Lee to earn a Money in the Bank spot, kicking off Raw's in-ring action. Gable, already set to face El Hijo del Vikingo at Worlds Collide, got distracted jawing at Vikingo, who was at ringside. Vikingo leaped the barricade and nailed Gable with a kick, setting up Penta's winning finisher. The match had wild moments, like Gable hoisting both opponents for a German suplex and Penta landing a gory bomb, Shark Tombstone combo. It was an electrifying opener, and Penta was the perfect pick to advance. Number 4, Jey Uso versus Gunther. Stale showdown. Jey Uso and Gunther's rivalry goes way back, but it's not sparking fight forever vibes. Jey had his big moment at WrestleMania, finally toppling the ring general. They've traded promos for ages, especially since WrestleMania was pushed back 2 weeks. Gunther's set to face Jey on the Raw after Money in the Bank, fresh off beating Logan Paul. Their latest promo was a snooze. Gunther recycled lines about Jey not handling pressure, while Jey stumbled, pausing for a painful 30 seconds, repeating his usual talk about loyal friends and family. Number 5, Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank grab. Fair or flawed? Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Sami Zayn put on a solid match on Raw. The problem? Rollins pinned Balor to secure a Money in the Bank spot, another gut punch for the Prince's endless losing streak. Sami, who's never won a world title or Money in the Bank, could have used the victory more. CM Punk popped up for a quick 2-minute save for Jey and Sami at Raw's end. If Punk wanted to stick it to Rollins, why not cost him the Money in the Bank spot? Rollins, Raw's new top villain, already had a crack at Jey, and will get another without needing the briefcase. WWE makes a major Cody Rhodes announcement. WWE dropped a massive bombshell about Cody Rhodes during Raw. After being gone since WrestleMania 41, Rhodes stormed back at Saturday night's main event. He jumped into the fray when John Cena tried to help Logan Paul steal a win over Jey Uso in the main event. Cena, once again stirring up trouble, aimed to crown YouTuber-turned-wrestler Paul as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Rhodes shut it down, forcing Cena and Paul to back off. Now Rhodes is slated to team with Uso against Cena and Paul in a blockbuster match. But the real shocker came on Raw with a huge announcement about Rhodes. WWE revealed he's launching a brand new podcast set to air on their YouTube channel every Wednesday. They also spilled the beans on the first guest. The company announced that Brandi Rhodes will join Cody for the debut episode of the podcast. With his packed schedule, people are eager to see how often he can keep it going. Cody Rhodes' wife attacks Jade Cargill. Brandi Rhodes, wife of SmackDown's top star Cody Rhodes, unleashed a vicious jab at Jade Cargill on X, digging up a heated moment from their AEW past. The shot hit hard and didn't go unnoticed. On Raw this week, a promo hyped Cody's new podcast, featuring Brandi as the first guest. WWE aired a clip from the episode to drum up excitement. In it, Brandi threw shade saying, "It's open mic night," a direct hit at Cargill. The line called back to an iconic AEW Dynamite moment, when Cargill took verbal swings at Cody, only for Brandi to storm out and deliver a fiery, profanity-laced promo, questioning who gave Cargill the mic. Many called it Brandi's career-best promo, with some even claiming it's the greatest in women's wrestling history. That might be a bold take, but the raw intensity Brandi brought was undeniable. Back then, Cargill was still finding her footing in AEW, so her bold presence was a comeback in itself. Now, Cargill's chasing Tiffany Stratton's WWE Women's title, making her mark. Naomi makes a request to Dana White behind Triple H's back. Naomi's bold character work is turning heads. She went all out to mess with her rival Jade Cargill, stirring up trouble in a big way. Naomi reached out to UFC boss Dana White behind Triple H's back, and her request has the WWE universe buzzing with excitement online. Naomi and Cargill have been clashing for months, with the real-life Bloodline star constantly blocking the Storm's path to the WWE Women's Championship. Now, Naomi's taking it to a personal level. She boldly asked Dana White to set up a slap fight between Cargill and Paige Van Zandt. Dana White, Jade Cargill said she wants to face Paige Van Zandt as soon as possible, she wrote. While a Cargill-Van Zandt showdown sounds thrilling, it's unlikely Cargill will step outside WWE anytime soon. The two rivals will share the ring for the first time since their WrestleMania 41 showdown, but it's not a one-on-one. As revealed last week, Cargill, Naomi, and Nia Jax are set for a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match on SmackDown. Nia Jax, the irresistible force, is laser-focused on reclaiming the women's championship she lost earlier this year. She came up short against Tiffany Stratton on the May 16th SmackDown. This match might be Jax's final shot at staying in the title hunt. With past singles wins over both Cargill and Naomi, Jax is the favorite to come out on top. Can she repeat history and secure her spot at the Money in the Bank event? We'll soon find out. Montez Ford sends a message to Bianca Belair during her absence. Montez Ford sent a heartfelt 3-word message to his wife, WWE star Bianca Belair, while she's sidelined from the ring. The EST got banged up during her triple threat match at WrestleMania 41, where she took on Sky for the WWE Women's World Championship on Night 2, alongside former champ Rhea Ripley. She didn't walk away with the title. Ford posted a cozy selfie with Belair on his Instagram story, showing her some love with a short but sweet caption. The EST is expected to make her comeback to SmackDown soon. "My pretty baby," wrote Ford. Ford, teaming with Angelo Dawkins as the Street Profits, is dominating on SmackDown. They're the current WWE Tag Team Champions, having defended their titles against Fraxium on the latest SmackDown. The win came with a twist, as the returning Wyatt Six jumped in, attacking the Street Profits, Fraxium, and DIY. The Street Profits first snagged the championships on the March 14th SmackDown, taking down DIY. They kept their reign alive on April 25th in a wild TLC match against DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. Liv Morgan kicks Dominik Mysterio out of the Judgment Day and gets a new BF. Liv Morgan stormed back to Raw, but her comeback hit a snag when she lost to Kairi Sane. Roxanne Perez, the former NXT Women's Champion, stirred up trouble by arguing with Raquel Rodriguez during the match, throwing Morgan off her game and costing her the win. Earlier, Morgan's return took a dramatic turn when she caught Dominik Mysterio cozying up with Perez backstage, fueling rumors of a split. Whispers are growing that Morgan might boot Dirty Dominic from the Judgment Day and bring in Finn Balor as her new boyfriend in the storyline. Dominic's been getting way too comfortable with Perez, hinting he could betray Morgan for a televised romance with the Prodigy. Morgan, the women's tag team champion, seemed to sense the double cross when she saw them together. To get ahead of any betrayal, Morgan might strike first, kicking Dominic out of the villainous group. She could turn to Finn Balor, seeing him as more loyal with no track record of jumping between women. This bold move would shake up the Judgment Day's storyline on Raw and pull in huge attention from the WWE Universe. Morgan's return is already creating a massive stir, with fans eager to see what's next. Her comeback is also laying the groundwork for a shift to a fan-favorite role. After the loss, Morgan marched backstage and faced off with her Judgment Day teammate and Perez. The 30-year-old was clearly fed up, even pointing the finger at Rodriguez for the defeat. Many online are calling her frustration the first step toward becoming a fan favorite. The WWE Universe is already hyped about her return, and it's anyone's guess how this Hollywood star's story will unfold. It'll be slammed for Roxanne Perez's push. Vince Russo, a former WWE head writer, tore into the company's handling of Roxanne Perez's potential role in the Judgment Day on Raw. This week, Finn Balor welcomed Perez into the faction's clubhouse, saying Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez could use her as backup. He also stressed that the group needed more firepower, and the 23-year-old was a perfect fit. On Writing with Russo, the wrestling veteran slammed the move, calling Perez just another NXT call-up thrown at casual fans. He argued that most viewers don't follow NXT and have no clue about her character, making her feel like just another face in the crowd. Russo believes this is a lazy setup to spark a feud with Liv Morgan, likely pushing Morgan toward a fan-favorite turn. Bro, that's exactly how they're gonna book it. She's jealous of Roxanne Perez, so now you're gonna have an angle between Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Okay, and who is Roxanne Perez? She's another woman on the roster. That's all she is. I don't watch NXT. I don't know what her character was in NXT. Me just sitting there watching this show now, she's just like the girl with the purse that came along. The girls whose hair was half black and half platinum. There's no difference. So, why should I care? I guess, bro, that's gonna be their way of making Liv a babyface. Big freaking deal, bro. Big freaking deal. On Raw, Perez earned a Money in the Bank spot, outshining veterans Becky Lynch and Natalya in a triple threat qualifier. All eyes are on whether the young star can shine in her first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. WWE leaks huge title change and major mistake during Raw. WWE made a colossal mistake on Raw, accidentally leaking a huge title change. The slip-up revealed the outcome of a major upcoming match. El Hijo del Vikingo and Chad Gable are slated to clash at Worlds Collide in a high-stakes showdown. Thanks to a major goof during Raw, it's now clear their match will be for a championship. Currently, Vikingo holds no titles, but he's set to challenge Alberto Del Rio for the AAA Mega Championship on May 31st, with Del Rio as the reigning champ. WWE's blunder came when they promoted Gable versus Vikingo as a title match, spilling the beans that Vikingo will defeat Del Rio to claim the AAA Mega Championship. Vikingo will then put the belt on the line against Gable at Worlds Collide. With Triple H calling the shots, it looks like he's greenlit this title switch, but the accidental reveal has stolen the surprise. Seth Rollins' sloppy storyline slammed. Vince Russo, a former WWE head writer, ripped into Seth Rollins' current arc on Raw. Rollins has been ruling the roost, teaming up with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. At Saturday night's main event, Reed jumped in to help Rollins overpower Sami Zayn and CM Punk, securing the win for Rollins and Breaker. Reed even crushed Punk with a tsunami after the bell. On Legion of Raw, Russo blasted the storyline, saying WWE was just chasing cheap cheers. He pointed out that Reed's past brutal attacks on Rollins, including multiple tsunamis, were ignored to force them into an alliance. Russo argued it would have been smarter to show Paul Heyman orchestrating Reed's arrival without Rollins knowing. They're writing for the pop. Logic does not matter. The fact that Bronson Reed almost Seth Rollins with 22 tsunamis doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing, he went on. The way they should have played that is Bronson Reed comes out. Over the weekend, Paul Heyman didn't smarten up Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman, he's the wise man, he thinks it's best for Rollins. Bro, Bronson Reed comes out, gets involved, and Rollins gets into it with him. And Heyman is trying to pull him back, and Rollins says, "What are you pulling me back for? The guy hit me. Now you've got a story going into Monday." On Raw, Rollins doubled down, vowing to dominate the brand completely. He clinched a Money in the Bank qualifying win in a triple threat match, but the night ended with CM Punk dropping him with a GTS. Seth Rollins wins the MITB. On this week's Raw, Seth Rollins stood in the ring with Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker, declaring he'd win the Money in the Bank briefcase again and cash it in for any WWE World title whenever he wants. He backed up his talk by beating Sami Zayn and Finn Balor in a qualifying match later that night. What's the game plan if the Architect grabs the Money in the Bank contract again? Back in 2014, Rollins, with Kane's help, won the Money in the Bank briefcase as part of the Authority. At WrestleMania 31, he sprinted to the ring, crashed the WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and hit Reigns with a curb stomp to steal the title. Known as the heist of the century in wrestling circles, Rollins also snagged the United States Championship at SummerSlam 2015. If the Revolutionary becomes Mr. Money in the Bank again, he could pull off another massive heist. Right now, he's gunning for Jey Uso's World Heavyweight Championship, but in his promo, Rollins hinted he could target either of WWE's top titles. This opens the door for him to jump into a future undisputed championship match between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Rollins and Rhodes traded sharp words before the 2025 Elimination Chamber. Rhodes, once called the Revolutionary, was known for being a selfish, backstabbing wrestler. Now, as a heel, Rollins could aim for revenge by cashing in during a Cena-Rhodes match and pinning Rhodes, which would also keep Cena's heel run strong. Last year, Drew McIntyre won the Money in the Bank ladder match, earning a shot to reclaim the World Heavyweight Championship he lost at WrestleMania 40. But when he cashed in on Damian Priest that same night, CM Punk ambushed him, handing Priest the win. Rollins has strong allies in Reed and Breakker, but his climb to the top has made him plenty of enemies. One is CM Punk, the Second City Saint, who despises Rollins and knows how to ruin a cash-in. There's a real chance the MITB contract could fail to deliver a title for the second year in a row. The Money in the Bank event is set for June 7th, 2025, just weeks away, with Rollins, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, and Penta already qualified, and 2 spots left. Roman Reigns isn't booked for the remaining SmackDown shows, so he's out of the MITB match. But if Rollins wins the briefcase, Reigns might step in to stop him from repeating his 2014 heist. The OTC could try to swipe the contract from his former Shield brother. Before the 2025 Royal Rumble, Kevin Owens stole the Winged Eagle title from Cody Rhodes, leading to a ladder match for both belts. Reigns could pull a similar move, forcing Rollins into a one-on-one showdown for the briefcase. The WWE Universe is eager to see what's next for the Revolutionary. Roman Reigns is coming back to WWE soon. Roman Reigns, the OTC, hasn't appeared since the Raw after WrestleMania 41, where Braun Breaker, unveiled as part of Seth Rollins' crew, took him out. This week's Raw dropped 3 major clues that the Tribal Chief could soon return to WWE. Seth Rollins marched into the arena with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed in tow. Commentators Michael Cole and Pat McAfee pointed out how rare it was to see the Architect backed by such a powerhouse group, with McAfee noting it felt like the Shield days when Rollins ran with Reigns and Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. All 4 men wore sharp suits, not Shield gear, and Rollins was clearly calling the shots, with no signs of team unity. Still, the Shield mention might be WWE's way of hinting at Reigns' return. Paul Heyman hyped the heel squad to the crowd, calling Braun Breaker a legit badass from a family of badasses and saying Bronson Reed smashed Rollins harder in one night than Reigns could in a decade. Finally, Heyman demanded the crowd acknowledge Rollins. His shots at the OTC after weeks of silence about the original Bloodline leader suggest Reigns' comeback is close. Rollins claimed he'd already be World Heavyweight Champion if CM Punk and Sami Zayn hadn't messed with his title shot against Jey Uso a few weeks ago on Raw. At Saturday night's main event, Uso was busy battling Logan Paul, leaving Punk and Zayn shorthanded against Rollins and Breakker. Bronson Reed's shocking return at SNME, where he blasted Punk through a barricade, gave Rollins the edge. Now, the good guys need a heavy hitter, and Reigns fits perfectly, especially after Heyman's betrayal at WrestleMania 41. The OTC could balance the scales, joining Punk and Zayn after Survivor Series, War Games to face their shared enemies. The WWE Universe is pumped to see what's next for Reigns.